In a world where we're constantly told that the key to attraction is kindness, availability, and endless displays of affection, it's no surprise that so many of us feel confused, frustrated, and unfulfilled in our relationships. We're taught that if we want someone's attention, we have to chase them, shower them with compliments, or prove our worth by always being there. But what if everything we've been told about attraction is actually leading us further from the connections we desire? What if the true secret lies in something much deeper, something rooted in understanding psychology, self-worth, and the subtle art of creating intrigue? This story will take you on a journey that challenges conventional wisdom about attraction. It's not about playing games or manipulating people. Rather, it's about discovering how you can cultivate real, lasting attraction by changing the way you present yourself, by redefining how you interact with others, and by focusing on your own inner strength. We'll dive into the power of silence, the allure of mystery, the beauty of resilience in the face of rejection, and the confidence that comes from mastering self-control. These aren't superficial tricks theory profound principles that, when understood and practiced, transform the way others see you and the way you see yourself. Get ready to look at relationships from a fresh perspective. This isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about becoming the person who commands respect, attracts admiration, and creates connections that are genuine and fulfilling. Let's explore how embracing these principles of attraction can not only reshape your relationships, but also empower you to become the best version of yourself. Part 1. Understanding the misconceptions about attraction. In our society, we're often told that showing kindness and attentiveness is the secret to making others like us. We believe that being polite, available, and devoted will eventually win someone's affection or respect. But what if this belief, deeply ingrained as it is actually leading us away from the true essence of attraction? Many of us feel frustrated when we're left waiting for a reply, or worse, ghosted after we've made efforts to connect. This experience of giving so much and receiving so little can make us question our worth and wonder why relationships seem so elusive. The reality is that what we're often taught about attraction does not align with human psychology. Attraction operates less on logic or goodwill and more on subtle, often unconscious psychological dynamics. Kindness is undeniably valuable, and respect is essential in any relationship, but these qualities alone do not always spark the attraction or interest we hope for. Simply put, attraction thrives on a unique balance of mystery, tension, and mutual effort, things that excessive availability or predictability can quickly diminish. When we focus too much on being overly available, we inadvertently reduce our value in the eyes of others. People naturally appreciate what they have to work for, what isn't easily accessible, and what feels just out of reach. In relationships, this translates to the idea that when we constantly chase, give, and validate, the other person might begin to take us for granted or see our presence as something guaranteed rather than something special. The more we pursue, the more the other person might instinctively pull away, sensing that they don't need to put an effort or cherish what's readily theirs. This does not mean one should play games or treat people with indifference. It means rethinking the belief that constant pursuit and validation lead to a meaningful connection. Instead, true attraction often begins with understanding that being nice all the time isn't the most effective approach. It requires us to see our attention as valuable, to be shared carefully, and to understand that someone's interest grows when they feel a need to earn it. So, how can you put this understanding into practice? Start by observing your own behaviors and interactions. Notice moments when you feel compelled to prove your worth or chase validation. Remind yourself that overextending yourself doesn't create connection, it can actually do the opposite. Try giving others a little more space, allowing interactions to flow naturally without pressing for constant affirmation. This isn't about manipulation, it's about respecting both yourself and the other person enough to let a bond develop at its own pace. When you understand that you don't need to chase someone for them to value you, you can begin to see your relationships in a new light. Real attraction is often mutual, developing when both people find reasons to invest in each other. As you shift away from the mindset of constant pursuit, you may find that connections become richer, more genuine, and built on a foundation of mutual respect rather than a need to constantly prove yourself. Part 2. Creating scarcity and the value of distance. The principle of scarcity tells us that when something is harder to obtain, its value rises. This is a fundamental rule in human psychology and economics, and it applies just as much to relationships and attraction. In our fast-paced world where everyone is constantly connected, attention has become a commodity that's freely and abundantly available. Social media platforms, for instance, have millions of people posting, sharing, and competing for attention every second of the day. When attention is everywhere, it loses its value. In relationships, this overabundance of attention can diminish the mystery and allure that often drive initial attraction. So, how can we use the principle of scarcity in a healthy way to create attraction? It begins with a shift in mindset about the way we give our time and attention. When we are too readily available or respond instantly to every message, we send an unspoken signal that our time and attention are not rare. This might sound counterintuitive, but people tend to value interactions more when they are earned, when they have to work a bit to engage with you, and when you're not constantly present or easily accessible. This is not about playing games or being aloof. It's about recognizing that self-respect and self-worth should guide how much energy you invest. If you allow yourself to be less readily available, others may begin to appreciate the moments they do have with you more deeply. By taking a step back and allowing for space, you're letting them see your presence as something that adds value, rather than something they can access whenever they like. An important part of this is learning to set boundaries with how you spend your time. Practicing restraint in the amount of time you dedicate to someone early in a relationship can create an air of mystery, helping to naturally build intrigue. For example, if you feel the urge to immediately respond to a text or to always be available to hang out, pause and ask yourself what message you're sending by doing so. Instead of constantly initiating contact, let them reach out too. By giving a bit of space, you allow the other person to feel the anticipation of seeing or hearing from you, which can make each interaction feel more meaningful and exciting. Remember, creating scarcity doesn't mean ignoring or being rude to the other person. It's about striking a balance, showing that you value yourself and that you're not dependent on their validation. You're signaling that you're confident, busy, and engaged in a life that you love, qualities that naturally make you more attractive. People often gravitate toward those who are independent and don't feel a constant need to seek approval. When you begin to view your time and attention as rare resources, you empower yourself. This attitude can change how people perceive you and how they value the time you do spend together. Instead of being one of many people vying for attention, you become someone worth the effort, someone whose presence is meaningful. And in a world full of constant notifications and instant access, that bit of distance and self-respect can make all the difference in building a genuine connection. Part 3. Emotional triggers, the key to genuine attraction. Attraction isn't just about looks, money, or even compatibility. At its core, attraction is rooted in emotions. People fall for others not because of rational reasons, but because of the feelings those people stir up inside them. Think about some of the most intense connections you've had. They likely weren't calm or logical. Instead, they were often full of excitement, anticipation, maybe even a little unpredictability. This emotional roller coaster, with its ups and downs, keeps us captivated, drawing us in and making us crave more. One of the biggest misconceptions in relationships is that showering someone with constant positivity, compliments, and gifts will win them over. While it's true that everyone likes kindness, too much predictability and one-dimensional positivity can actually have the opposite effect. When someone is overly nice all the time, it can come across as shallow or even a little desperate. What truly drives attraction is a blend of emotions, both positive and, sometimes, a bit challenging. This creates a dynamic, engaging connection that feels real and powerful. So, how do you use emotional triggers to create a deeper level of attraction? The answer lies in the art of push and pull. By giving someone your full attention one moment, then stepping back the next, you can create an emotional contrast that sparks curiosity and interest. Imagine spending a wonderful evening with someone where you're fully present, listening and sharing meaningful conversation. Then, instead of immediately texting them afterward, you give it some time. This pause allows them to reflect on the interaction and builds anticipation for when they'll hear from you again. This push and pull dynamic keeps things exciting. People are naturally drawn to what they can't fully predict, and by creating moments of closeness followed by brief periods of distance, you build a connection that feels more profound. It's like a dance, a balance of closeness and independence that allows the relationship to breathe and grow naturally. When you're always available, it's easy for someone to take your presence for granted. But by mixing things up and showing that you have your own life, your own passions, and your own boundaries, you keep things fresh and intriguing. However, it's important to remember that using emotional triggers is not about manipulation. It's about understanding human psychology and recognizing that people value relationships where they feel both challenged and valued. This approach respects the other person's autonomy and shows that you're not trying to control or possess them. Instead, you're offering a connection where they can feel a wide range of emotions, where every interaction has depth and variety. Another effective way to trigger emotions is through playful teasing or challenging someone's ideas in a respectful way. This doesn't mean being critical or argumentative, but rather engaging in a way that shows you're interested in them as a person with unique thoughts and perspectives. A little friendly banter or a thought-provoking question can create excitement and show that you're genuinely curious about them, beyond just pleasing them. Ultimately, emotional triggers work because they create a sense of adventure. By allowing the relationship to have highs and lows, surprises and reflections, you build something dynamic that keeps both people engaged. Attraction is not about giving someone everything they want immediately. It's about creating a journey where both individuals feel seen, challenged, and valued. This emotional richness is what makes a connection last, transforming initial attraction into something much deeper and more meaningful. Part 4. High-value behavior, the art of detachment. In today's world, everyone seems to be vying for attention. Social media is filled with people showcasing their lives, sharing achievements, and often seeking validation. However, the most attractive people are not the ones constantly seeking approval theory, the ones who are genuinely comfortable in their own skin and content with their own company. This is what's known as high-value behavior, and it's rooted in the art of detachment. When you're not reliant on the opinions of others to feel valued, you exude a sense of self-worth and confidence that draws people to you naturally. Detachment doesn't mean that you don't care about others or that you're emotionally cold. Instead, it's about understanding your own value and not needing someone else's attention or approval to feel complete. High-value individuals recognize their worth without needing constant external validation, and that is incredibly attractive. When you have this level of self-assurance, you stop seeking validation from others, and this in turn makes others more interested in you. The art of detachment is rooted in focusing on your own growth, passions, and goals. High-value people invest in themselves, their careers, their hobbies, and their well-being. They understand that a fulfilling life is built on a foundation of personal happiness and self-respect, not on being attached to the validation or affection of another person. When you pursue your own ambitions, you create a life that you're proud of, and this energy is magnetic. Others are drawn to people who are passionate, ambitious, and independent because it shows that they're complete on their own. Detachment also means not being overly affected by the ups and downs of relationships. People who are constantly trying to prove their value often become overly attached to outcomes, clinging to relationships or situations even when they're unhealthy. In contrast, high-value individuals are not afraid to walk away from situations that don't serve them. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about genuinely knowing that you don't need anyone else to make you feel complete. This confidence is incredibly attractive because it shows that you're not willing to settle for anything less than what you deserve. One of the most effective ways to practice detachment is by setting clear boundaries in relationships. This might mean not always being available or not letting someone else's actions affect your self-worth. When you maintain these boundaries, you communicate that you respect yourself and expect others to do the same. People are naturally drawn to those who have a strong sense of self-respect because it signals that you're confident and stable. Another key aspect of detachment is understanding the concept of self-validation. Self-validated people don't rely on others to make them feel worthy. They know their own value and don't seek approval or attention to feel fulfilled. This type of confidence creates a powerful magnetic effect. People are more likely to be interested in you when you're not constantly trying to win their attention or approval. In summary, detachment in relationships is about cultivating a sense of inner strength and confidence. It's about understanding that you bring value to any relationship simply by being yourself and not needing someone else's validation to feel complete. When you live by this mindset, you create a dynamic in which others naturally gravitate toward you not because you're trying to win them over, but because your independence and self-assuredness make you someone worth knowing. This art of detachment, when practiced authentically, transforms you into a high-value individual, someone who attracts others effortlessly by simply being content and secure in who they are. Part 5. Mastering Subtle Influence. The Power of Small Gestures. Influence is an art, and when used well, it can lead to meaningful connections without forcing or manipulating. Unlike overt actions or grand gestures, subtle influence is about the small things eye contact, body language, tone of voice, and the confidence with which you carry yourself. These small, nearly invisible cues communicate more about who you are than words ever could. Mastering subtle influence can make you a magnetic presence, drawing people toward you without seeming to try. Subtle influence begins with understanding how human psychology operates. People are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence, self-respect, and calmness. For instance, something as simple as maintaining good posture standing tall, shoulders back, and making eye contact signals to others that you're comfortable in your own skin. This type of body language, though silent, communicates self-assurance and can make others perceive you as more trustworthy and appealing. Another powerful element of subtle influence is the concept of mirroring. People tend to feel more connected to those who resemble them in some way, whether through body language, speech patterns, or energy levels. When done subtly, mirroring can help build rapport and create a sense of comfort in your interactions. For example, if the person you're speaking with is speaking softly and at a slower pace, you might naturally adjust your own tone and speed to match theirs. This doesn't mean copying them exactly, as that can come off as unnatural or even unsettling. Instead, it's about gently aligning with their energy to foster a sense of connection. The way you communicate verbally also plays a major role in subtle influence. Confidence in speech, speaking clearly, thoughtfully, and without unnecessary filler word makes others pay attention. When you avoid rushing to fill silence or over-explaining, you project self-assurance. Pausing before you respond or choosing your words carefully creates a natural sense of suspense, which can increase the other person's interest in what you have to say. Silence, when used well, speaks volumes. People who are comfortable with silence come across as confident, not needing to constantly fill the space. In fact, a well-placed pause can be more powerful than a dozen spoken words, inviting curiosity and engagement from the listener. Boundaries are also crucial to subtle influence. Setting and respecting your own boundaries shows others that you value yourself. It creates an unspoken standard that others will feel compelled to respect as well. High-value individuals don't try to prove themselves. They let their actions and presence speak for them. This boundary setting not only makes you more attractive, but also prevents you from overinvesting in people who may not reciprocate. Finally, subtle influence is about emotional control. When you can maintain a calm demeanor, even in challenging situations, others see you as a steady, reliable presence. This form of self-discipline is a core aspect of subtle influence. By keeping your emotions in check, you avoid reactive behavior that can make you seem out of control or desperate. Instead, you appear grounded and in control, which naturally attracts people to you. In essence, mastering subtle influence is about embracing your own self-worth and showing it through actions rather than words. It's about understanding the unspoken dynamics of human interaction and using them to create genuine, balanced connections. When you're able to subtly influence others, you gain a quiet power in relationships, one that doesn't rely on manipulation, but instead on authenticity and a profound understanding of human nature. By refining these small gestures, you transform into someone who others find captivating, not because of what you say or do overtly, but because of the quiet, confident energy you radiate. Part 6. The Power of Self-Control, Amplifying Attraction Through Emotional Discipline. In a world where emotions are often on display, whether through social media posts, texts, or real-life interactions, those who can remain calm and composed stand out. Emotional self-control is one of the most powerful and attractive qualities a person can possess. People are drawn to those who can stay grounded in difficult situations, maintaining a level-headed approach when everyone else might be reacting impulsively. This inner calm, often referred to as Stoic calm, is not about suppressing emotions, but about mastering them. When you practice self-control, you show that you're in charge of your emotions, not the other way around. One of the key benefits of self-control is that it allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. For example, in situations where someone might try to provoke you, staying calm and composed rather than responding with anger or frustration demonstrates emotional strength. This type of control is particularly noticeable in a world where many people tend to react instantly, often without fully processing their emotions. By taking a moment to breathe and think before responding, you project confidence and self-assurance, qualities that naturally attract respect and admiration. Self-control also has the unique power to amplify attraction. When you are calm under pressure, you become the person others look to for stability. Think about a situation where everyone around you is panicking or reacting emotionally. In such moments, the person who remains composed immediately becomes a leader, someone others can rely on. This calm demeanor signals that you're confident in yourself, that you can handle challenges, and that you don't let external factors dictate your state of mind. This composure is immensely appealing because it shows that you're not only resilient, but also capable of providing stability in relationships. An essential part of mastering self-control is learning how to manage your reactions in challenging, emotional situations. Imagine a heated argument with someone close to you. Instead of letting anger or frustration take control, practicing self-control allows you to stay present and listen actively. When you keep your cool, you're more likely to navigate conflicts constructively, showing that you value the relationship enough to avoid unnecessary drama. This kind of control over emotions creates a sense of safety and respect, essential foundations for any meaningful connection. Furthermore, emotional self-control can be contagious. There's a psychological phenomenon known as emotional contagion, where people tend to mirror the emotions of those around them. When you stay calm, others around you are more likely to feel calm as well. Conversely, when you're reactive, it can trigger similar reactions in others, leading to a chain of escalating emotions. By mastering self-control, you influence the emotional atmosphere around you, making people feel more at ease and naturally drawn to your composed energy. One of the best ways to practice self-control is by becoming aware of your triggers and learning how to manage them. The next time you feel yourself getting angry, frustrated, or overly excited, take a moment to pause. Breathe deeply, give yourself time to process, and respond from a place of calm rather than immediate reaction. This small act of self-restraint can make a big difference in how others perceive you, showing that you're someone who can handle challenges without being overwhelmed by emotions. In relationships, self-control is not about being emotionless. It's about having the strength to regulate your emotions and choose your responses mindfully. When you display this discipline, people see you as a reliable, strong individual who can weather storms with grace. This steadiness makes you a magnet for others, as they recognize the unique attraction that comes from someone who is not easily shaken. Practicing self-control not only enhances your own well-being, but also makes you a more appealing, dependable, and influential presence in the lives of those around you. Part 7. Confidence through silence. The impact of embracing stillness. Silence can be one of the most powerful tools in communication and attraction. In a society where people feel compelled to fill every moment with words, silence can set you apart, conveying a level of confidence and self-assuredness that few people possess. Embracing silence demonstrates that you are comfortable with yourself, that you don't feel the need to constantly prove yourself through words, and that you're secure in your own presence. This quiet confidence speaks louder than any words you could say. Many people find silence uncomfortable, especially in social situations. They feel an impulse to fill the void with small talk or unnecessary chatter, fearing that silence signals disinterest or awkwardness. However, when you are comfortable with silence, you send a very different message: that you're in control, that you don't need to seek validation, and that you are secure in simply being. This comfort with silence can be profoundly attractive because it suggests an inner peace and strength that is rare. In relationships, silence can create a sense of mystery and intrigue. When you're not constantly revealing everything about yourself, you leave space for curiosity. This is especially powerful in the early stages of getting to know someone. By taking your time to respond to text, or by pausing before answering a question in conversation, you create a natural suspense that keeps the other person engaged. They start to wonder about you, wanting to know more, and this subtle sense of mystery keeps their interest alive. Moreover, silence allows you to communicate presence and attention without words. For instance, when you're actively listening to someone and allowing pauses to naturally occur, you give them the space to feel truly heard and understood. This level of attention can be far more meaningful than a quick verbal response. A well-timed pause before you speak shows that you're thoughtful and intentional in your communication, that you value what's being said, and that you're not just rushing to get your own words out. It creates a moment of connection where your silence allows the other person to feel the weight of your attention. Silence can also be a way to convey confidence in a subtle but impactful way. When you're in a conversation and choose not to respond immediately or keep your answers brief and thoughtful, it shows that you're secure and that you don't need to constantly seek approval. This restraint communicates that you're comfortable with who you are, that you're not overly eager to please, and that you value quality over quantity in interactions. In this way, silence becomes a powerful form of self-respect. Embracing silence doesn't mean you should be withdrawn or cold. It means knowing when to speak and when to let silence do the talking. When used intentionally, silence can create an aura of calm and control, making you more memorable and compelling. This is because silence, when held confidently, often communicates more than words can. It gives others the space to think, to wonder, and to connect with you on a deeper level beyond superficial conversation. Finally, silence can act as a reset button in challenging moments. When a conversation gets tense or emotionally charged, a pause can help both you and the other person regain perspective. Instead of rushing to fill the gap with defensive words or explanations, take a moment to breathe, to gather your thoughts, and respond from a place of clarity and composure. This shows a level of emotional maturity that not only diffuses tension, but also fosters respect. In essence, confidence through silence is about finding strength in stillness. By embracing silence, you allow your presence to speak for itself, making your words, when you do choose to speak, even more impactful. This quiet strength is both attractive and memorable, leaving others with a lasting impression of someone who is confident, composed, and deeply self-assured. Part 8. The Power of Mystery and Distance, Keeping the Intrigue Alive. In any relationship, whether new or established, mystery holds a unique power. When everything about a person is laid bare from the beginning, curiosity fades, and with it, a crucial element of attraction. Mystery and distance aren't about playing games or withholding honesty. They're about letting parts of yourself unfold naturally over time, creating a steady flow of intrigue that keeps the relationship dynamic and alive. People are naturally drawn to what they don't fully understand, and by maintaining a sense of mystery, you invite others to continually seek you out, wanting to know more. One of the key reasons mystery is so powerful is that it triggers curiosity. Human beings are innately curious, rewired to seek answers and explanations. When someone reveals everything about themselves too soon, it's like reading a book where the plot twist is spoiled from the beginning. There's no anticipation, no desire to turn the page. In relationships, when you hold back just a bit, not sharing every thought, opinion, or personal detail right away, you create a sense of anticipation. This is not about being secretive, but about allowing the other person the excitement of discovering who you are, piece by piece. Maintaining a certain level of distance is equally important. This doesn't mean being emotionally unavailable or detached. Rather, it's about having your own space, interests, and life outside of the relationship. When you are too accessible or constantly around, you risk becoming predictable, which can lessen excitement. By spending time on your own passions and goals, you show that you're a complete person with a fulfilling life, independent of the relationship. This independence not only keeps you grounded, but also makes you more attractive, as others are naturally drawn to individuals who are self-sufficient and engaged in their own lives. Distance, when used correctly, creates a sense of respect and admiration. It signals that you value your time and won't give it away too easily. In a world where many people are readily accessible through constant messaging and social media updates, a person who isn't always available becomes intriguing. They stand out as someone who values quality over quantity, which makes their presence feel more valuable and appreciated. When you're not always there, people start to notice your absence and may even crave the moments you do share with them. This controlled distance allows the relationship to grow at a natural pace, fostering a sense of appreciation rather than dependency. It's about striking a balance, being close enough to show interest and engagement, yet distant enough to maintain a sense of individual identity. This balance keeps others invested, wondering about your thoughts, your feelings, and your intentions, which in turn fuels their interest in the relationship. Mystery also allows for the preservation of personal boundaries, which is essential for healthy, long-lasting relationships. By choosing carefully what and when to share, you set the tone for how you want to be treated. This boundary setting signals to others that while you're open and genuine, you're also selective about who gets access to certain aspects of your life. This selectivity can be incredibly powerful as it communicates self-respect and maturity. In practice, maintaining mystery and distance might look like taking time to respond thoughtfully rather than instantly, or occasionally making plans that don't include the other person, showing them that you have a fulfilling life outside of the relationship. It could mean not oversharing personal details on social media, allowing your partner or friends to learn about your life directly from you instead. This kind of mystery builds a foundation of respect, where others feel honored to get to know the real you over time rather than being handed everything at once. In conclusion, mystery and distance are not barriers but bridges. They foster a sense of respect, admiration, and ongoing curiosity, making each interaction meaningful. When used wisely, they can transform a relationship into a journey of continuous discovery where both people feel engaged, valued, and endlessly intrigued by one another. This powerful combination of mystery and distance helps keep relationships fresh, fulfilling, and deeply attractive. Part 9. Rejection as Power, Embracing Resilience and Confidence. Rejection is something most people fear deeply. It feels personal, it stings, and it can leave us questioning our own worth. However, when approached from a place of strength, rejection can actually become one of the most empowering tools in your life. The way you handle rejection says more about your character and confidence than almost anything else. Instead of seeing rejection as a blow to your self-esteem, it can become an opportunity to show resilience, self-respect, and emotional maturity qualities that are universally attractive. The first step in transforming rejection into power is understanding that it's not a reflection of your worth. Rejection often says more about the other person, their preferences, biases, or circumstances than it does about you. Just because one person doesn't see your value doesn't mean it isn't there. When you internalize this perspective, rejection becomes far less daunting. Instead of taking it personally, you can view it as a natural part of life, something everyone experiences at one point or another. The next step is to respond to rejection with grace and composure. Imagine asking someone out or proposing an idea at work only to be turned down. Most people would react with disappointment, frustration, or even defensiveness. But what if, instead, you responded with a smile, a simple no problem, and moved forward confidently? This reaction signals to others that you're not desperate, that your self-worth doesn't hinge on their approval. In fact, this display of confidence can often make the other person reconsider their initial reaction, seeing you in a new, more respectful light. Handling rejection well shows that you're emotionally resilient, a quality that is magnetic and rare. When people see that you're not easily shaken, that you can accept setbacks without losing your confidence, they'll find you more intriguing and admirable. This strength shows that you're not defined by anyone else's opinions or decisions. Instead, you are rooted in your own sense of value, a quality that stands out in any crowd. By viewing rejection as a normal part of the journey rather than a personal failure, you show that you're strong, adaptable, and prepared for whatever life brings. Additionally, rejection can be an excellent opportunity for growth. Each experience teaches you something about yourself, what you want, what you're willing to tolerate, and how you can improve. When you face rejection and use it as a lesson rather than a setback, you're investing in your personal development. This positive outlook makes you more resilient and prepared for future challenges. It's not about avoiding rejection, but about welcoming it as part of the path to self-improvement. Rejection can also give you a chance to exercise boundaries. When someone doesn't see your value or reciprocate your efforts, it's an opportunity to let go, to walk away with dignity and focus on people who do appreciate you. This is an empowering choice that reinforces your self-respect. Instead of clinging to someone who isn't invested, you choose to direct your energy toward relationships and situations that bring genuine value to your life. This refusal to settle, this willingness to walk away when you're not valued, is a form of self-love that enhances your overall confidence. In embracing rejection, you learn to see yourself as complete and worthy, independent of others' opinions or decisions. This confidence radiates, attracting people who are drawn to your strength and independence. Ultimately, rejection becomes a stepping stone toward finding connections and opportunities that are truly right for you. By handling rejection with grace, using it as a learning tool, and reinforcing your boundaries, you transform it from a painful experience into a source of empowerment and growth. In conclusion, embracing rejection as a tool for personal power allows you to approach life and relationships with newfound confidence and resilience. When rejection no longer has the power to diminish you, you become unstoppable. You walk through life grounded in the knowledge that your worth doesn't depend on any single person's validation, and this self-assurance is magnetic. Instead of fearing rejection, you welcome it as a teacher, a reminder of your strength, and a step closer to the right people and opportunities. As we come to the end of this exploration of attraction, it's clear that genuine connections aren't built on superficial gestures or constant pursuit. Real attraction goes beyond flashy displays and quick fixes. It's about cultivating an inner strength that naturally draws others to you. By mastering self-control, embracing mystery, and understanding the true value of your presence, you become someone who commands respect and admiration. You're not just chasing connections, you're rebuilding relationships that are rich, fulfilling, and meaningful. The insights we've shared today aren't about pretending or playing games. They're about embracing who you are and presenting that authentic self to the world in a way that's powerful and magnetic. It's about finding confidence in silence, courage in rejection, and self-worth in knowing that you don't need to constantly prove your value. When you start to view yourself as a high-value individual, you attract people who see and appreciate that same worth in you. But this journey doesn't end here. The art of attraction and personal growth is an ongoing process filled with moments of self-discovery and new challenges. We'll continue to dive into these topics, uncovering more powerful tools to help you strengthen your relationships, understand yourself better, and navigate life with greater confidence and clarity. If you found value in today's story, consider subscribing to our channel so you don't miss the next chapter in this journey. We're building a community of people dedicated to growing, learning, and becoming the best versions of themselves. By subscribing, you'll be part of that community, gaining access to insights and stories that inspire transformation. So stay tuned for more stories that will challenge, empower, and equip you with the wisdom to create the life and relationships you deserve. Let us know in the comments what resonated with you the most, and remember, true attraction begins from within. Thank you for watching, and we can't wait to continue this journey with you.